Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Dial Tactics. Happy Thursday, or whatever day you're watching this on. So this is my favorite video segment to make for most of the mobile games I've covered. It is my hero deep dive, where I basically go into the new hero. We go through his whole kit. I show you where he's good, etc., etc., etc. We go through gear. We go through best weapon, etc. Just everything about the hero. It's a hero deep dive. So we're doing Brennan today. Brennan. All right, new hero. Where do I want my noggin? I think I want it up here. Why am I always talking about my giant Canadian melon? Okay, Brennan. First of all, can we all agree he looks cool? He looks very, very cool. We've known this guy's been in the game for a while. He's one of the bosses that we fight along the way in story mode. There's a couple more in story mode that we're likely to get in the future. That being, I think it's Reese or Rince. He is basically a controller. Got a lot of mind control, brainwash. Can't wait till he comes in the game, but that's a side tangent. We're talking about Brennan today. All right, so as we do, let's go over his passives first. Why? Because passives will carry over to all of his relics regardless. Passives are the one things that... Actually, it's not. You can reset the passives, and this is one hero where I would say you do want to be careful when you're doing your passives, because I'm going to start with passive number 2 because this is the most important passive. At the start of battle, grants all allies a barrier which blocks. It starts at 3, and then it only goes up to 2 once you get 2 points into him. So, like Bedivere, who we wanted everything to go into his P1, we want everything to go into his P2. As you see, I do have it maxed. And so what you got to do is you don't want to level him up fully. You want to level him up only to the point where his P1 and his P2 are unlocked and his P3 is still locked. Then, and only then, do you want to spend your points until the P2 is maxed, because that is the most important part of his kit, in my opinion. All right, so let's go back to the P1. Boost morale. When attacking, I love when attacking or start of battle passives. I think they are just the best bang for your buck. I don't like situational if-then type passives. So when attacking, grants defense increase 2 to bull favor allies for 2 turns. So you want to run him specifically with bulls, meaning Gilroy, meaning Lot, meaning Arthur, and Gawain. 100% chance, like 100% chance to grant all allies effect accuracy increase 2 for 2 turns. Brennan himself wants effect accuracy. Gilroy also wants effect accuracy because this team's really about landing those debuffs. 100% chance to gain ignore resistance for 1 turn, meaning you could actually land buffs on an Anya, even though if the Anya is like 180 effect resistance Anya, I guess it doesn't matter because 100% chance to ignore. But that is just for him. So really, it's just the top 2 that you're giving to your allies. It's just him that gets the ignore resistance. You don't have to focus a lot on effect accuracy, but do keep in mind that this is a 4-turn cooldown. So you do want some accuracy on him because you want him to be landing his debuffs in between his cooldown phases. But when this thing's fully booked, and then, yeah, I'm going to call it fully booked for now, it will get down to a 2, which isn't that bad, right? You can live with that. Then maybe you can drop his accuracy a little bit more. And then as we discussed on his P2, this is the most important, grants all allies a barrier that is will block 5 hits, which is the most critical part of his kit, specifically for PvP and I guess Forbidden Dungeon Hard. That does come in handy. Yeah, the 3 is nice too, but you really feel the block 5 attacks. It just negates 5 attacks to your heroes altogether. So that one's really, really, really important. And then his third passive, P3, upon being hit while in the possession of a barrier, which he will have quite often, he's going to do an AoE attack, all enemies. The damage and the defense, it's nice, but it's not really high multipliers. And then the 50% chance to inflict, it is healing immunity or healing disruption until his C4. Then it turns into healing decay. And healing decay, basically... it says it's considered recovery disruption, but instead of just nullifying the heal, it actually turns the heal into a damaging attack. So healing decay is quite critical, specifically if you're going up against like Nika teams or teams with... There we go. Okay, just crashed my mic there for a second. Leaving that in. So, healing decay, great. And then this taunt. And he will taunt, and he can put up taunt in his kit, so you do want to build him beefy. He is a tank. He is a defensive hero. He does have a leadership ability. In battle, so this is a global leadership, grants all allies defense up 20%, and then grants all bull favor allies an additional 20%. So 25% defense to himself, Gilroy, Arthur, Gawain, bull favor allies, Lot as well. Okay, so that's his passives. Quick, simple, easy, effective. I like it. Now let's go into his relics. All right, so he starts in wind. He starts in his wind relic. Let's go to relics. Got mine all the way up already. 60. I don't have it awakened 1 star. Okay. All right. His P, let's start with his S3, right? Attacks all enemies. This is an AoE. Not a big multiplier as well. You see I have it maxed. Cool. I don't really care for this one to be maxed, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. 100% chance for the last hit to inflict recovery disruption for 2 turns. That can be on everybody, right? So that is actually quite effective, especially when you're going up against like tank teams or heal teams. Recovery disruption, AoE recovery disruption, very, very nice. I like it. This does reduce, you see this is a 2 vigor cost though. It is not a 3 vigor cost. So if you have him in a vigor set, this will, he'll be able to do his S3 on every turn. You pair him with a Nika, then you're gonna generate more vigor for your team. But it does cost 10% of your max HP, so do keep that in mind. 10% max HP loss isn't a big deal in my opinion. So that's his S3. His S2 is the one that he's going to be counterattacking with if you have him at Chivalry 5. Attack 1 enemy 2 times. The damage, again, not huge multipliers, but 100% chance for the last hit to inflict taunt for 2 turns. Keep in mind, if his P1 is off cooldown, he will ignore resistance. He will land that taunt, and that goes for the healing disruption as well on the S3 if he is off cooldown. 100% chance to gain a barrier which blocks 1 attack. This can be booked up to 2 if you get it up to level 5. So this is very, very effective because remember, he does do things when he is hit with barrier. He will counterattack using that AoE, kind of like Anya, which applies the AoE healing disruption, which just, his whole kit is just built well. It synergizes well together. And then as well, 100% chance to grant the ally with the lowest HP a barrier which blocks 1 attack for 1 turn. I do believe that the barrier count, I think it both goes up to 2, but it might just be the one for him. But already the Wind Relic, the S3 and the S2 are quite good. The S1 doesn't, it's just a basic, it's a basic. It's his S1. Attack 1 enemy 2 times, really pitiful damage. 50% chance to inflict recovery disruption for 1 turn, which can be booked up to 2. You're not going to be using his S1. It's all going to be S2, S3. Mainly S2. But I do like his S3. Okay, so let's look at his other relics. let's. So the Ice Relic or Frost Relic, the S3, attack 1 enemy 3 times, inflict taunt, 100% chance to grant a barrier which blocks 3 attacks for 1 turn, and then you can 100% chance to grant an ally with lowest HP a barrier which blocks 3 attacks for 1 turn, and you can get that up to number 2, so it's going to be 5 and 5. So this does look really juicy on that S3. And I think Frost, I do like it, but do I like it more than the Wind? The Wind one is an AoE, it inflicts recovery disruption. This one, again, costs 10% of your max HP. It is a 2 vigor cost. I do like this. I like this because the S2 is an ability that puts up the taunt and gives recovery disruption, which is similar to this S2, right? But his Wind S2 is the one that gives the extra barriers to himself and his team, or his another member on his team. This one, it's on the S3. It also has the taunt, but this is going to be a 5 barrier again when booked, and there's no cooldown to this. He can just keep on putting up barriers, like big barriers on his allies. Is this worth spending $50 for? No. The Wind Relic will be sufficient, but that S3 is juicy. And the S2 with the taunt and the recovery disruption, if you have him up to C5, he's going to be counterattacking, and he counterattacks with his S2. So you will still be applying this. And then his basic is just a basic. So the ice one looks really, really good as well for PvE and PvP, because you're just going to be putting up those barriers all over the place. Fire. Attack one enemy, so it's a single target. Taunt. And healing decay. So this is where he can apply healing decay or more healing decay. Even though he is going to have healing decay in his kit, you see upon being hit in possession of a barrier, he can apply healing decay, but that's on it will be a 2-turn cooldown when booked. But if you want more healing decay, fire may be the way to go. But myself, personally, I think that the Frost Relic is the more appealing relic, in my opinion. And then his S2, which is also the one that he's going to be using on his C5. Attack all enemies. So this is the AoE. Grants all allies a barrier which blocks. It will be up to 2. So, is it better than Frost or Wind? Some people say yes, I have seen that. But me personally, I think I still prefer Frost as the ideal. Wind is still okay. Fire, it's giving a 2-block barrier to... Well, that's nice, because again, he's going to be counterattacking or assisting with this. So he is going to be putting up all ally barriers as well. The fire's nice too. But it's kind of a toss-up for me. I still like this more because it's a 5-hit barrier. Right? You really want to protect that person with the lowest HP. But you could almost constantly be putting up 2 block barriers on your entire team using this. So, guys, let your conscience be your guide. Wind will suffice. That is more than sufficient for you. I do not, especially given the state of the game, I do not recommend spending that much money on a relic, knowing that it is going to be going into the common pool in 6 weeks' time. Wait, then there might be events that put these relics in-game for you to grind to get free to play. Unless you are a Kraken, don't buy these. But fire and ice both do look nice. They do look nice. Me, I'm leaning towards frost or ice myself, but it's going to be a while before I get it. Okay, so that's his relics. That's his passives. Now let's go into his chivalries, because he's really interesting in that the developers put all of his abilities on the left side. There is no extra modifiers or abilities on his right side. It's just stats. Defense, good. He wants defense. Attack and HP. Attack doesn't really matter. The HP is nice. More defense, effect accuracy. This attack, okay, effect accuracy. And that's a lot of effect accuracy right at the high end. See, that's 40% effect accuracy on a guy that can ignore resistance. And then this is just what it is. But the C1, so boost morale. This is his P1. Additional skill effect, 100% chance to grant each ally effect accuracy 2 for 2 turns. So unless you at least get him up to C1, you're going to basically be missing the vast majority of this. You're only going to get the grant defense increase to Bull's favor allies. That's all you're going to get on his P1 if you don't have him C1. That's kind of a tongue twister. Let's move my noggin over here. So, yeah, the C1 at minimum is really, really nice. The ignore resistance is nice. The effect accuracy increase is nice. A decent C1. Make or break, no, but decent. You get a little bit of defense on his C2. That's not make or break, but it's okay for him, given he's a tank and he's going to be taking hits to the face. Crom Crotch Gift. So this is his P3. So you're getting an additional effect, 60% chance to inflict taunt on each enemy for 1 turn. If you guys don't remember, that's this one right here. So you are going to get at base, you are going to get the when in possession of a barrier, you're going to do that AoE, and you're going to apply recovery disruption. You won't get the taunt until you get him up to C3. And then C4 is going to further amplify his P3, and this is where you're flipping that recovery disruption into Healing Decay, which is just a better version and a damaging version of Recovery Disruption. So the C4 is really nice as well. Is it make or break? No. But it's nice because it's basically passively giving him another avenue to do damage. And then his C5, which this one's the really, really nice one. If you can get him up to C5, you're good. You're golden. But after an ally attacks, attack one time with your skill 2. It is on a 2-turn cooldown. But then let's go back to his relics. On wind, his skill 2 is he's going to inflict taunt, and he's going to give himself and an ally a barrier, which when he's hit with a barrier, he's going to do that AoE if it's off cooldown and apply recovery disruption and AoE taunt to everybody. His Frost, C2, going to inflict taunt, going to inflict recovery disruption. Not make or break there. His Frost S2 doesn't really synergize, in my opinion, that well with his C5. Wind much more so, but his Fire does synergize really well with his C5 because he's going to be doing an AoE attack and he's going to be giving barriers to everybody for 2 turns if this thing's fully booked. So am I swayed more to the Fire now? Maybe, but I do really like the Frost C3 or S3. Whoa, Cardinal Sin. There he is. So that's all of his chivalries. Nothing make or break, but C5 is really makes his kit fully activated, in my opinion. And normally the developers, they're being generous because normally they would stick this up at a C8. So if you can get him to C5, if you do have a whole lot of crystals hoarded from all those packs, I recommend getting him there. Don't break the bank. Don't spend money, though, if you're a low spender trying to get this guy. He is impactful to your account. He is good. I would rate him quite highly as a hero. But don't be spending your lunch money on Brennan C5. Okay, so that's his kit, his passives, his relics. Now let's go into his gear. His gear is still being ironed out. Okay, guys, so I've seen a couple different builds for him. The game itself, the developers in his release notes did recommend that you went all defense. All defense. But even at high-end arena, you don't need all that defense. Maybe Forbidden Dungeon Hard you will, but my testing so far, a full defense build isn't necessary. Is it going to amplify his damage a little bit? Yes. But I like him personally right now in a vigor set with accuracy because, again, he does need some accuracy when his passive 1 is off cooldown. So this is kind of the build that I'm going with right now. I have seen like speed crit builds, people building him fast with crit rate, although I don't know if crit rate is really needed. There's nothing in his kit that procs off of crits. I think, can he do damage? Yes, but he's a tank. He's not going to do a lot of damage. So there are many different ways you can build this one. There are many different Brennans, but this one is mine. So I'm just going to show you mine. And right now I am recommending Vigor and Accuracy as this guy's kit. All right, so let's go to the right side and we'll show you the main stats. So defense, percent, main stat. Defense, percent, main stat. Defense, percent, main stat. Remember, when your allies attack, if you have him C5, he's going to be doing the C2, which puts up a lot of benefits. So do you need him going very, very, very fast? Not necessarily. I have seen arguments to for a slow build and for a fast build. Try it out, guys. See what works best for you. And then down here, I do have effect accuracy on the belt. So I don't recommend 2 effect accuracies, but I do think you should have some in his kit given how much debuffs he is applying. I have defense on this, but could you go... I'm kind of limited on orbs right now. Could you go hit accuracy? No. Could you go speed? Yes. I would say speed or defense, in my opinion, given that he's a tank. And then I have defense on his banner, but Only because I do not have an endurance banner that is useful. I am not putting a 4-star endurance banner on him. But what does endurance do? It protects you from pierce, which is what the majority of people do. It cuts through his defense. So him being a defensive unit, endurance is going to be the way to go on the banner. If you don't have a good endurance banner, though, you can run defense. For secondary stats on this guy, I would recommend basically defense percentage, main stat. So effect accuracy, defense percentage, attack speed, mainly. So this one got attack speed. I don't recommend him as a damage dealer. Crit rate and crit strike damage, I don't think are ideal stats for him. Defense, effect resistance is okay, I guess. You don't want him getting polymorphed, although you will be polymorphed because you're not building him for effect resistance. HP, defense percentage, hit accuracy, effect resistance, defense percentage, effect accuracy, defense. Yeah, I'd say defense percentage is probably the primary stat you want to go for. Then HP percentage, because he is going to be taking those hits to the face. You want him to stay alive. Defense. So none of my gear is re-rolled. It's not optimal. Like HP, crit damage, attack. Like I could spend some time on him, but I'm not gonna. He's working fine for me like this. But ideally, for substats, defense percentage, HP percentage, effect accuracy percentage, and then some attack speed probably. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is Brennan. That's Brennan. That's his kit. That's everything. This will change. He is brand new. I do not have all of the facts, and things can change. We've seen a lot of heroes change after launch. But for now, I think that this will get you rolling. So now let's show you guys where he is useful. So obviously, they have built him for Aldry event. You're, of course, going to use him in his event. His event is going on right now. As you see here, obviously you're going to get the most bonus points for him, so use him in his main event. But if you're coming to this video down the line and that event is not up, where do you use him? Well, the game wants you to use him here. And you can. You can use him here. He will work, but you don't need him here. You really don't need him here. I'm not even going to show you guys, but I'm only putting him in my Aldry lineup for now because at launch he does have a event where you have to use him in this event. But I have actually just finished that, so I can now remove him. So my normal team for this is this. And this lineup gets Aldry down before he ever goes into a hibernation mode. Okay? So can you use him here? Yes. Should you? No. It makes it much, much, much harder and longer to down Aldry using him in this fight. I would say that the main place where Brennan is really paying dividends is Arena. He has completely disrupted Arena. As you see, a lot of people are already putting him in some lineups. Let's show you. So just by adding him to the game, he completely killed the Serpent Speed meta, which is unfortunate because I just got my Serpent Speed team done. So I'm going to spend some crystals here and try to find you guys. I think Arlequin is hiding him in this fight. So I'm not going to go against Arlequin. But maybe not. So let's see. I guarantee you he's already switched it out, but let's show you guys if this is the typical, if he hasn't switched out his team already. I'll show you what Brennan does. If this is the normal Serpent Speed team. If it's not, this is a waste of time. So obviously I don't want that. And I want to put Ceres in a different set. Everything else is golden. There we go. Okay. Come on, Arlequin. Please let this be the normal speed team. I guarantee you. Oh, it's got Anya in it. Okay. Well, that's different. So what he does is he basically nullifies the speed meta. I should have been targeting Anya with that. And there you go. So Yeah, if I had been targeting Anya, Anya would have already been dead. So there you see, and now I'm dead. All right, well, that wasn't that great. Had I been targeting Anya with Iwaret, Iwaret would have killed her, and we would have won. But almost had him. Almost had him. Let's see. What is this? So this is a speed team, but not a good speed team. Let's see if Ryu here has got the normal speed team, right? The normal Serpent speed team. And by normal Serpent speed team, I mean the one that was the previous meta, which was Ceres, Nika, Iwaret, and Morgan. Now, what a lot of people have done in Arena is they've switched up and they've hidden. So they do have Brennan in here with like an Anya, and they've hidden them to try to trick people into thinking they're still running the old Serpent speed meta. But let's see if this is it. Okay, so this is not the typical one, but this is going to work. So you're going to see Clarison's going to go. We're going to just eat all those hits because we got the barrier. Now, Iwaret's going to go do his massive, or her massive AoE, which would have normally killed us. Right there. And there we go, we survived. You notice how Brennan would have died had he been built less tanky. So now we go and we just kill them. And this in the past would have been an excellent team. This would have been an excellent team. But just by adding Brennan into this, as you see, he has nullified the DPS and the healing. He's basically nullified Nika as well, because with that healing disruption, Nika's just not doing anything. Obviously, there's still a lot of stuff in Nika's kit that is really, really nice, but obviously Nika's not healing herself up either, and we're just going to whittle her down. And in the past, people have gotten stuck on Frost Nikas. So Brennan, definitely a game changer in Arena, and he destroyed the previous Arena meta. But the Arena has very drastically switched. So here we go. Here's my buddy, Easy T. Easy T, who is in the top Russian guild in the game. You see a lot of people are moving to this team on defense, which I do believe I have the same team on defense, except I'm running Brennan lead instead of Nika lead. So this is kind of becoming the new meta, and it's annoying to play against. So you're going to slowly see the whole Arena shift away. No one's going to be putting that old Serpent speed team on defense anymore, given how easily Brennan can counter it. So Easy T, he's got a C9 Brennan, and he's also running Guinevere. And I've been playing around with different comps. You can put him on a team with like an Arduin and take down some weird comps. But if they have Guinevere on that team, it really screws it up because of Guinevere's romantic reversal, which basically blocks abnormal statuses. So I'll show you a team that I've been kind of toying around with. So we're gonna put Anya lead in here, and then we're gonna put Nika lead, sorry, Anya, and then Ceres Flame. But we want to build Ceres completely different for Flame. So there we go. This is an effect accuracy build. Slow. This is a maxed Fire Relic for doing what the Fire Relic does. Okay, let's see if this works, because I've been just testing this morning. But still, Brennan versus Brennan, Nika versus Nika. This is going to be an Anya. So Easy T here. I know that's not how you pronounce your name, but that's how I'm calling you. Easy T. It just sounds cooler. This is guaranteed to be an Anya, likely Wind. Wind, because that seems to be what people are running. So I also had to switch around my Anya build for this. Previously, in the old meta, you could build her two different ways. You could stack effect resistance and then have a counter build, and I would put the effect resistance in for PvP. Now I do need to go back to that hybrid effect resistance counter build, because I do need her to hit more. So let's just see. I'm still toying around with this, but it does show that Brennan is completely switching around the meta, and I was wrong. They got a Frost Anya in here, which is ideal for me, given I have my Anya in wind. So let's just see if this works. So we attack back, healing decay on Brennan. Let's target Brennan. Actually, let's get him out of here because he's got that beefy C9. Ooh, okay, Brennan put up a shield, but now Brennan's going to die. Oh, I love it. I love it. So you almost have to take care, like, having Nika, Anya, Guinevere, and Brennan. Like, there are clear PvP meta. Ooh, that Fire Relic, man. We kind of theorized that Fire Relic would come in really handy, and it is. It is. So, yes. So, Brennan, game-changing in the meta. I'm going to do a whole separate video on just his effect in PvP, but I'm still kind of tinkering around with the teams. But yeah, you can't just be static in this game, guys. You gotta constantly be switching things up. So, unfortunately, to end the video, you do need to get your Brennan up to about, pardon me, Chivalry 5 to really get all of the benefits from him. And I know a lot of people probably don't care about Arena, but ooh, okay, we're gonna do one more because this is a clanmate of mine. Oli, we're gonna go for you, Oli. Because Oli's really good at PvP as well. Guaranteed, I'm gonna say it's gonna be Guinevere and Anya, and then we're gonna wrap up the video. Yep. Oh, Jillian. Okay, let's target. I think Oli likes to have Jillian in a counter set. So let's just target their Brennan first, because he is going to be the most annoying. Interesting that he opened up with his S2 and not his S3. I do find that kind of odd. So this is where I think, yes, the Fire Relic would be ideal for PvP. Because if he counterattacks with that S2, then my whole team would have a 2-hit barrier up again. I think, ooh. Ugh. Okay, I was going to say, I think Ollie's going to get me here. And the thing is I really want to take down that Brennan. Because I'm not going to be able to heal up if he's healing up. But if I can keep also the recovery disruption on him. But, let's go for Gwen. Oh, no, let's go for Ollie. So now if I can get that recovery disruption... Oh, take him down, take him down. Thank you. Oh, sorry, Ollie. Put some healing disruption on. Yes, yes, yes! Still got healing disruption up there. As soon as my series goes here, it's going to be fun times. Oh, my series is so slow, though. Okay, so what this tells me that I am going to have to speed up my series. Yeah, we're going to time out here, guys. I thought I had him, though. I took out the major threats. But yeah, I definitely want my series going a little bit faster for this. So good job, Ollie. You got me. You timed me out. All right. Can we just take out Nika, please? The 2-turn recovery disruption is really critical. But they're just so fast. They're getting just so many turns ahead of me. Yes, and then Nika's going to heal up. And obviously Nika's not going to attack my Anya. And unless their Jillian constantly attacked my Anya, this was never going to go well. You're going to heal. You're going to heal. Okay, so that's a loss. But what that did teach me, that taught me some things, is that I need to speed up my series so I can get that damage output out there faster. Okay. We're going to wrap it up right there, ladies and gentlemen. But you see it. He definitely shines in PvP. And I think that for PvP, fire is going to be the best relic. All right. That's it. That is the deep dive on Brennan. Very, very, very cool hero. Very, very cool kit. Again, don't go out there and spend money on that fire relic, but just keep it in mind that you kind of want both. You kind of want both. I really do like that S3, which is a 5 barrier on 2 of your heroes. But I also love the fact that this synergizes so well with his C5. And then spamming this, oh yeah, spamming this, you're actually going to be putting Healing Decay for 2 turns instead of Recovery Disruption, so that in, say, like that last fight that we just did with the 2 healers, instead of them just negating the healing, they're actually going to be killing themselves, which, Yep. Oh, I'm tempted. I'm so tempted. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let your conscience be your guide. That's my tips to you on the Mr. Squidface, Squidward, Brennan. Great hero, great kit, well designed. Definitely changed up the game. It was needed. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, put them down in the comment section below. I respond to every comment. Got to do a word of the day. Got to do a word of the day. And I'm looking around. I'm looking around my desk. What do I got? What do I got? What do I got? Oh, okay, so my kid, my child, thinks she's funny. She has like 1,000 of these like little tiny babies, and she likes to come into my office and like hide them in weird spots. So the code word, the safe word of the day is tiny baby. Tiny baby. Put that down in the comment section below. I'll know you made it to the end, which we are almost 40 minutes deep. I will thank you profusely. I will catch you in the next one, ladies and gentlemen. Till then, cheers, peace. Bye-bye.